Good evening. Welcome to the November Book Free Library. Thank you all trustees for coming. We have everybody here but Jane, who is unable to make it tonight. We will start with the disposition of the minutes from the previous meeting, which was actually from October's meeting, right? The agenda, it says September, but it's actually October. So this was sent out by Sarah about a week ago. Did anybody see any corrections or anything that was missing? No, but I have a motion to accept the minutes as they are. Oh, did they get fixed? I know, Erin, you had sent in. Oh, just one of my education permits. Oh, okay. Yes. Was that updated? Yes. Okay. All right, great. Then all those in favor of accepting the minutes say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Okay, that's accepted to records. We will go to the treasurer's financial report.
Okay, thank you, Linda. So just a few highlights from the treasurer's report that I wanted to call out. During the month of October, we did receive our Warren County aid. This was reported to our state grants account and received a total of $3,183. Very helpful for the library. I want to also note that we started our annual appeal on October 1st. So the new appeal season starts that's when we start recording it. And obviously the letter went out. Thank you to everybody who sent out the letter this year and who helped contribute to sending out the letter. As of October 31st, we had 2 donors to date for that appeal season, totaling $200. But today I went through all of the generous donations that came in. We had about 43 donations come in since the letter went out, totaling now since the beginning of October about $4,090. So very exciting to see that coming in. If you've read the treasurer's report, you'll know that there's a lot of just detail around the expenses. We're getting towards the end of the year, so we'll start to see some budget accounts coming close to or at budget. There was nothing concerning to call out with that on this end, so I just wanted to open up the floor to questions, if you might have any for the treasurer.
Okay, then we will move on to the director's report.
Nothing big to point out. Once again, 7 more people signed up for library cards. Under collection development that there was a lot of books that were reading. Those were the children's books that Sarah and I were really culling through to see if they could be used, especially for the Up Yonder. And then the upcoming programs, we've had pretty good attendance for everything. Except for, the animal tracking one, which was really wonderful. There were 4 people. But the guy also did it with the after school program earlier that day, and it was amazing. It's definitely a program to keep in mind for another time. He actually brought the pelts and the skeletons, talked to the kids. At first I thought he was like using language above them, but they seemed to pick up on it pretty quickly. And I learned something new, which was how to tell if an animal is a carnivore or a herbivore. Eyes facing front, they like to hunt. Eyes to the side, they like to hide.
That was the 3rd grader who taught us that.
Yeah, it was
grade, Owen. Yeah, maybe some 4th.
And the guy was really impressed that Owen did that. So I thought that was a great.
Yeah.
Owen, I can't remember his last name. Yes. Book club was last night, and we had 17 people here. It was amazing. Our final one for 2025 for the official people will be the December book club, and we've decided to have like a little Christmassy everyone's gonna chip in to have Frederick next year for the meeting. And we're reading God of the Woods, a summer camp in the Adirondacks. And Lynn said she read it, it's really good book. I read it.
Yeah,
I gave it to you.
you gave it to me.
Yeah.
I love that.
Really good. We're gonna read it.
So I don't have to read it.
You don't have to read it because.
I wanna read it again, it's the other session.
So for Ted's program, there were 45 people, even though it was the second time
It
around.
was, yes. But you know what, Sarah and I both said afterwards, there was stuff we picked up the second time. And then somebody today said he wanted to compliment us on a program that we had. He'd been here for the birds, the birding thing, and he said, "Did you know that she was that big a deal?" And I said, "Not when we booked her." She was the birding program was amazing. And once again, I learned something. Any of you heard of a crossbeak? I had never seen it before, but they are birds that when they're born, their beaks are straight. And then at some point they curve. And it's 50% curved left and 50% curved right. And it's because they feed off of pine cones. And they use that curve to get inside the it was really amazing. And I think that one we had 35
At least.
That was big. Now, did the new projector that Ted used this time, did it make a huge difference in the visuals?
Yes. Well, we hadn't used ours before because it was so bad.
Oh,
We had been borrowing them from
that's
Sal's
right.
had one.
That's right.
The only issue that we ran into, and I don't know if it's something that can be fixed, you couldn't show it sequentially.
Oh, it was because of how he had his files and images on his thumb drive.
Okay.
The projector reads it alphabetically or chronologically, so you have to label your files or your photos to be shown. They have to have the right label, either alphabetically or chronologically.
Luckily, we were both here, so Sarah was able to advance it for him instead of it advancing automatically.
Okay. Interesting. Is that something we have to let a speaker know ahead of time when they use our projector then?
It would help, yeah, just in case they have their files labeled differently somehow.
Okay. Okay. So, we do upcoming programs now, or do you want to do that under events?
The wreath making is for December 4th, the snow date of the 8th. That's a Thursday, and then the only day that worked for Ellie that week was a Monday, and I did not to worry about it. We already have 12 people signed up, and we only are allowing 15. She did ask, even though it doesn't inhibit you from going if you don't have the things, but if anybody has ribbons or Christmas ornaments and garden gloves, anybody who has signed up, you're going to want garden gloves because you're working with pitch. And if you have wire cutters. Trivia Tuesday will be, I think there's actually an extra day. No. There's 5 Tuesdays in December. So those are the other ones that we have. And I was just talking to Mary, we're gonna try to do a special program with the after school. Some of the veterans would like us to do, I had talked to Matt, who's the young guy that was at the farmer's market a lot. He is one of the younger veterans, and he loved the idea of us doing something on Veterans Day, but that was the day that the 4-H guy was here. So he came in the other day and asked if we would consider doing one for Pearl Harbor Day. And Mary and I were just talking about it. We're going to try to put something together because there's a local man who goes to the church, the Episcopal Church, and he'd love to come in and talk to the kids. So we're going to try to put something together.
Nice. That would be great. Back to the Ellie's, the things that she wants people to bring. Is she reaching out to the people that are signed?
She asked us to.
Okay.
And we did just
let them know as they call.
No, so what Sarah just posted, put it up on social media, that if you have anything and you want to bring them.
Tried to turn the volume off. There's no name on it.
Does anybody else have any questions for Megan, or is there anything else you have, Megan?
There was there's a little change in the Christmas Owl book. Linda Bennett was the one who was supposed to read the book to the kids. She and Nancy were going to do the program together. And I think that Linda was nervous about it. She took the book home to practice it. So she came in today and she said that you're going to have to read. I think that Nancy said she needs my help, but I think she's doing me a favor. Linda was I think she's too nervous to do it. So she is going to help Nancy, who is bringing 2 owls to this. So I would be participating with that, and I would have to work out something with Sarah or Tammy to cover that day or that 2 hour and a half.
Okay, set. Do we have the name for that one?
It is.
December 5th,
Said
starting at 1:30. An hour for Christmas stories, down towards the bottom. This is like
on the 7th.
Oh, on the agenda, you're saying.
Yeah,
on your
yeah, you're right.
Oh, okay. I was still looking at the report. Okay. Okay, so,
Then the other thing I just wanted to mention, Justine Osbach, who is Brendan Renee's sister, married with children, wants to start a writers group. And she would be doing it through the Adirondack Center for Writing, and she would like to use the library for it. So she said she would get back to me when she has put something together. And then once I have that from her, I will let you guys know.
would that be something we would want them to have their meetings over here later, so that one of these?
I think because she's a young mother, she didn't want to do it in the evening.
Oh, she wants to do it during the day.
Yes,
So she just wants to use our.
So what I explained to her was that the only day that she really couldn't do it would be if it's in the morning. Mahjong uses the bathroom on Wednesdays, and on Thursday afternoons the knitting is back there. And so she
And
said,
then the coffee hour the day on Tuesday.
yeah, I did forget that, but I'll mention it to her. So
Do they meet weekly, or maybe they only?
I don't need to know.
Yeah, so. I think that'd be-
So as soon as I have more information.
Okay, that'd be great. That would be a really good group to support, I think.
Mhm.
Right. So, all right, great. Anybody have any questions for Megan? Do you have the continuing education adult faves on here? And, then if we could go to so anything new with the social media report?
No, we're still holding steady for fall, winter hours. There's a bit of a dip in Facebook and Instagram, but that's due to the fact that last month we had a post go somewhat viral. So the numbers have settled back down to where they normally are. So while it looks like a significant decrease from October, it really isn't. So.
Back to status quo. So I believe I have a motion to accept the new report.
I'll make a motion.
Lynn and Amy second. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay, those opposed. So moved. Okay, we have nothing to report with the executive committee, but down to financial.
Great, very busy night for the finance committee here, so I have some things to point out. The first item on the agenda is the draft proposed budget for next year. So I have some copies, may have to share though if you'd like to reference them for this part of the conversation. Sure. So thank you to everybody who had submitted their information, followed up to my request for clarification. I really appreciate it. What we're looking at here is kind of the first draft proposed budget for next year. This includes everybody's inputs and clarifications, and then the finance committee met 2 weeks ago to review all of this. take a look at it and then put it together for presentation today to you. What will happen with this is, following the conversation today, we're going to have a period of further input from anybody. If you feel you need to add some things as we've been going along and thinking about next year, we've started to see, maybe we should add a little bit of money here for this budget for some advertising, or possibly a little bit more for staff. So as we go along over the next 2 weeks, please feel free to get that information to me. And then what we will do is, again, we issue this in an email from you prior to the December board meeting. So I would really ask you to save some time when that comes out, review it in detail, contact me or any finance committee member with any questions prior to the board meeting, so we can help clarify that information for you, and then we'll go to a vote, hopefully at the December board meeting for the budget next year. So just to share some highlights about the budget, we're not going to go line by line here.
Oh, let's.
I give to you. So total budget and context here. So as you will see, if you go to page that number 3 up. Top. Page 2 actually. And then sorry about that. And then actually the second to last page would be So what you're going to see here is that our total budget is $130,490. So right above that black line on page 2, do you guys see that number there? That's our income, our projected income for 2026 based on our current index. If you then go to page 8 and look right above the gray line that's there, you're going to see total expenses, same number. This is a balanced budget. So our net operating income for next year is forecasted to be 0. What you see in this budget here at $130,490, this represents a 6.92% increase from the budget last year. Some key changes over the 2025 budget, and then drivers of the current budget that you see here. Income. Given the current economic environment and its impact on fundraising for 2026, operating income for the next year is definitely a concern, right? I think you guys had the same conversation last year when I read through the meeting minutes as well. As a non-for-profit library functions, solely on public money and the generosity of our donors, we're always looking towards the current economic environment to kind of forecast what we might be able to expect for income. So like I wanted to emphasize here, it is a little bit of a concern given the constraints that we're seeing with households across the country. When you look at the 2025 budget compared to this year, some of the increases that you will see in this current budget here are at the circulation desk. What we did is we doubled what we budgeted for 2025, which is 500. We doubled it to 1,000 for next year. This reflects the actual amounts that we've received both in 2024 and 2025. So we feel that this is a more accurate number at this point. We also increased our request to the town of Bolton. We requested $85,000 for 2026, rather than $80,000 previous year, in addition to $5,000 for capital improvements. We will not know what we receive until December at some point. So this number is still very fluid up until we get that notification from the town. Another highlight, the book sale, we increased the expected revenue by $500 for the book sale for next year to $6,500. So we'll see how we do next year as well. And then the interest savings that we see on the current budget for this year, we've increased it by $800 to roughly $1,800. The budgeted amount for the previous year was $1,000. And what this represents, though, is just a more accurate picture of how much interest income we forecast to receive for next year, even with the declining interest rates that we're seeing. So that will be something for the board to continue to watch as we move forward. We're even seeing right now when we go to renew the CT tomorrow. we're not getting the rates that we used to. It's just interest rates are starting to fall. So that's something that we're watching as well on the income side. Just to summarize the expenses very briefly for you as well. One thing that I wanted to point out with this budget is, despite the fact that we've increased the revenue here for 2026, the forecasted increased costs due to inflation and other economic headwinds really consume that additional income that we forecasted, right? Rather than contributing to the library's expansion and programs, what we're seeing is just higher fixed costs, higher material costs, just as everybody knows, the price of everything seems to be going up. And that's really what's reflected in the budget here. So although we've increased income by 6.92%, we're also seeing that increase in expenses across the board as well. So I just wanted to point that out for you. Generally, we receive from most of the utility providers and some of the fixed and other variable costs, we've received notification from them already about a 5% or more increase in costs for next year. This includes things like utilities, insurance, materials, supplies. What I want to just highlight for you in the expense categories. So in the budget, the expenses really start on page 3. Go through at your leisure, like. When we look at our total operating expenses every year, payroll expenses are the biggest portion of the budget. This represents 56% of our budget. And for next year, we're looking at about $73,000 for payroll. When we look at books, subscriptions, reference materials, this comprises about 8% of our budget and comes out to about $10,290 per year. Or for next year, sorry. Our occupancy expenses, so this includes anything in building maintenance, utilities. This represents about 8% of our operating expense budget. And then insurance, this includes liability, property, workers' comp, disability, any type of fine arts coverage that we may have. This is sitting right now around 6% of our annual operating budget there. And then just other non-personnel expenses. So when we think of program supplies, program events, we're looking at about another 15% of our budget as we break it down. What does this mean for us as a board? One, I think it's really important in this next phase of refinement of this budget. Please, if you think of anything and you want to change what you have given us, please do. Any little bit that you think you might want to add or propose does help make this as accurate as possible for next year. So I definitely encourage you to reach out. I also want to encourage everybody just to consider minimizing costs through any type of prudent examination of the cost of anything when you're buying it, right? And I think we all do a very good job at it, but I think, in this current economic environment, headwinds that we're seeing, it's just really important to stay focused on that, right? Every dollar of donation or public money that we receive really matters. Developing small habits that really contribute to building energy efficiency. That's something I mentioned before. As everybody knows, from a personal level, the cost of utilities is really going very high. So anything that we can do with that will help contribute to the bottom line as well. So in this sense, I really encourage the fundraising committee to continue exploring all available opportunities next year to raise money now in 2026. To that point, I got a generous note from Carla the other day offering to do a plant sale next year. She thinks we might be able to add another $1,000 to the budget if we do that. So definitely something to consider if we'd like to take her up on that offer. So as I had mentioned, just the next steps, like I said, another iteration is coming. This is going to be sent out to you before the December board meeting. Please review it. Please ask questions. Please poke holes in it. Contact myself, Amy, Linda. Let us know of anything. And we'll vote on it in December. So with that, I just wanted to ask everybody, does anybody at this point have any questions for the Finance Committee or the Treasurer about the budget?
No, thank you.
Yeah.
That couldn't have been an easy task, so we from the bottom of our hearts, we're so glad that we have you here to do it. And that, you're, giving that overview really helps us a lot too, because sometimes we look at these if we're not bookkeepers or oriented toward that, or just like glazed over. So having that explanation really helps us know how to look at it.
You'll see here, just a side note as well, I really tried to make these notes as detailed as possible, because with my departure, I hope that this is as plug and play as possible for next year when you move forward too. Some of the things in red are just, notes for the finance committee on areas that to just follow up with certain individuals on. So it just helps our eyes kind of focus on those things to move forward. So that's the only non-consequential note that I wanted to add there. Okay, so with that, this is a big finance meeting tonight. Form 990 update, I just wanted to let everybody know that our account has completed the Form 990 for the library. They do this work pro bono for the library. It saves us thousands of dollars by having that service. Some of you may be wondering, because we do mention what is the Form 990, right? This is really something that any nonprofit 501c3 like us has to file every year. It's an annual information return. We don't file a tax return because we're a not-for-profit, right? So we must file this with the IRS. It's a detailed report on the library's organization and finances, governance, and operating activities. Why is it important? I just want to highlight this really quickly. Legal compliance, right? Filing this form is required by law for most nonprofits. If you fail to file this 3 consecutive years in a row, you risk losing your 501c3 status, right? Very important. Transparency and accountability. I'm always talking about this. This form is publicly available, which means donors, grant makers, and the community can review it at any time that they either request or I believe have access to it on the IRS website. And again, it just goes back to the public trust, right? We rely on community support. This transparency that we see in this form reassures the public that their funds are being managed wisely and ethically. And I think that's the most important takeaway here. So just, again, because I am departing, what you have to keep in mind for next year is that the Form 990 is due, write this down in my notes, is due typically May 15th. So May 15th, 2026 is the due date to file a request for extension. If the extension is granted, then the library will have until November 16th, 2026 to submit this form. So I just want to make a note of that.
So pretty much every year she files for the extension. What's the thought behind that? Because their accounts are so busy in May, they want to put it off to November.
Probably, and it gives us a little bit of time to, right? And it's pro bono work, right?
Right.
She's doing this on free time, for free.
Okay.
Everybody's do that.
Right.
Tax season.
Right. So this gives her extra.
It's very complex.
And basically, we should have 7 years of this in our file cabinet somewhere.
I would have to confirm that. I
Right.
think the tax forms are.
So that if somebody came in here and said, I want to see that.
Page 74 of policies and procedures. 75. Tax returns, worksheets, and rulings permanently. So we should have on file a copy of any tax returns and also any Form 990s. Since we became a nonprofit. I don't know when that ever happened, but
From the beginning of time.
from the beginning of from the start.
That would be
It
a
says
pretty big file cabinet.
Yeah.
So there's lots.
But yeah, any member of the public can come in, actually, any document that's listed on here, records retention policy, page 72, 73, 74, our policy procedures. Any member of the public can request that at any time, and I do believe that the time constraint that we have in order to provide that information.
They have to get to the book.
And is this kept somewhere online, like from other years, once we filed it?
That's a really good question. You guys should have a backup copy, right? What if the library burns down, right? There should be backup copies. Paper at some secure storage facility or digitally, right? We are moving into the digital age.
The
I-
account should have.
The account should have one as well.
But that's true, if she's done it over the last several years, she would have kept it.
Exactly. The only concern there is if she retires, goes out of business, where does that stuff go? I don't know where that goes to the ether. But, having it electronically is also a good fail safe as well. I have a copy here. I have to keep this, but you're welcome to look at it tonight. You're also welcome to request a copy, and we're gonna have one on file here in the library as well. And if you have any questions about it, just let me know. Does anybody have any questions for the finance committee? Form 990 update, thank you. I wanted to talk about the 2025 budget for the bookkeeper and the latest update. So in 2025, the approved budget included $2,000 for a bookkeeper. It's, I believe, been discussed for several years to get one, especially with the departure of Michelle. But I know that obviously it didn't result in filling that bookkeeper position, but given my departure coming up, the finance committee feels that this is really the appropriate time to recommend use of these funds and budget for them in 2026. So to that end, we started and asking around about potential in the area that may be interested in this position. We have 4 candidates submit their names for consideration or were referred to us. I phone screened all 4 candidates. One candidate requested a second follow-up phone conversation. 2 of those candidates declined the role and elected not to continue to the interview just due to the library's limited budget, right? What we have to budget doesn't necessarily some the standard pay that we're seeing in this area. Yeah, we're a very small nonprofit, probably even very little here. 2 candidates elected to continue to the interview, where one of the candidates had to cancel their interview due to a personal medical emergency. And so we have 1 candidate remaining who is our preferred candidate, very strong candidate that I wanted to take a moment to discuss or forget as well. This candidate's name is Brendan Powell. Please take one and pass it down if you'd like. They have shared, I'm sure. So Linda and I interviewed this candidate. Here's a summary findings that I can provide to you by a resume that includes highlights from 30-minute phone screening that I had with her and maybe an hour-and-a-half interview with her. This candidate has 20 years of total accounting and bookkeeping experience starting since 2004. She has more than 7 years in a senior financial leadership role, and she has more than 13 years as a bookkeeper in a CPA firm, and it's also the same CPA firm that the library currently uses for the pro bono work for 99. So she worked in the accountant and has a solid knowledge of this account that we use and the process that we use for our accounting and bookkeeping. She has extensive accounting and bookkeeping experience. Like I said, 13 years as a staff accountant at the CPA firm. She prepared personal and corporate income tax returns. She did bookkeeping. She did payroll tax returns. She did sales tax returns. And she did general journal entries and data review. She has a lot of qualifications in the bookkeeping field. She had 7 years of experience as a director of finance and operations for a local organization. In this role, she did full cycle financial management. This includes things like budgeting, P&L forecasting, cash flow forecasting. She's performed vendor contract negotiations and management, something we're not going to be asking her to do, but obviously she knows that process very well. She understands bank account and credit card reconciliation processes, and she knows sales tax reporting and employee reimbursement reporting as well. She's also quite technically proficient. She's skilled in Microsoft 365. She has experience in multiple accounting platforms, including QuickBooks Online and Desktop. And I mention this because that's the platform that the library is using for its bookkeeping. And she, you know, it goes without saying that she has a really strong background in financial reporting and analysis, data entry and review. She's also a local resident here in town. And she has agreed to perform these services for 2026 at $225 a month. This means that the annual budget would be $2,700, so slightly more than what we budgeted in the previous year. But I want to just call this out, that this is a significantly discounted rate from the current market rate in our area. She can also begin in December 2025, and what we think that this benefits us with is the ability for me to start transitioning her so that on January 1st, she can hit the ground running. So before I continue further in the conversation, I just wanted to pause for a second because I can see everybody looking at this and listening. Does anyone have any questions that you'd like to ask me about this today?
So 2,700 is what we put in this budget for this year. I do also want to remind people that one of the reasons the second reason we're getting a bookkeeper is because it's really important, especially in organizations like ours, to have more than one person handling all the figures. When you have two people, it gives the public that makes them more comfortable that it's being well managed and that we don't have somebody, padding their pockets in some way. So really, this is something that, we should have done probably a really long time ago, just had never found the right time. So now is the time. We really do need to go ahead with this. So we're very fortunate to find this candidate. I think she's terrific. She does want more money next year, but I think if she gets to know our organization better and we work really well with her, that she'll find that she'll be able to do, we're going to be able to maybe negotiate. It's not like she's going to ask to double her pay or anything like that, I don't think. But I think if she sees it's an important mission and we give her all the facts and figures, receipts and things like that and make her job fairly easy, I think she'll be a great candidate.
Any questions from the board here? Okay, with that being said, on this committee, I'd like to recommend that the board authorize hiring of this candidate as the library bookkeeper at the rate of $225 a month, with an effective start date of December 1st.
So all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Moved. Very good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Yeah, right, the 27th, that includes it.
So I believe I can have most of the preparation done before I depart, actually.
Next year's.
Yes, for next year's. And I believe that I can have most of that done. So it would be very minimal. I believe that you might be able to have a little conversation with her about that. And because she knows Becky as well, I think that might help streamline the process. But, as a way, if you need additional services, she probably could provide those for additional costs, but, it is there for something to consider. Okay, so thank you. Moving right along, we did the annual appeal update already. We're good on that. Just a quick update on the CD rollover. Last meeting, we voted to roll that over. So Amy and I are going to the bank tomorrow morning to roll over the CD. As I mentioned, the rates are a little bit lower. Not sure if these are going to be the rates that are presented to us tomorrow, but right now it's looking like it was 91 days CD, best rate available on the market, with an interest rate of 3.25% for that CD. So we're going to talk a little bit this evening, but questions about that, just let us know. And then the last thing that I wanted to cover, the TD Bank Affinity Program update. I'm not sure if anybody saw the posting on Facebook. Whoever sent that, Megan or Sarah, thank you very much for sending that. I really appreciate that. So we checked in with the bank. By January 13th, we need 5 checking accounts to meet the baseline number in order to maintain eligibility. This is the Right, and hopefully nobody drops off, either. That's one of the things as well, so, you know, we should aim for a little bit 4 to 5, perhaps, to have that margin of comfort. So I would say continue to, if you have an opportunity to put a plug in for that program. I want to thank the library staff for getting behind that as well. If there's anything that we can do to put a sign up circulation desk or whatever you feel has worked really well in the past. I
We
trust
did
that
have
you guys
one
will do
there
that.
one time, so it's probably around here. And
Mhm.
just a side
Another
note, like I sent an email out to my volleyball group. And we got 3 more people from that last year. And they were like people that had quite a bit of money in there because it made a difference. And so if you have any local teams, organizations, Mahjong group, whatever, just stick it out to them. Hey, if you happen to have affinity, make sure you have the library down as your benefactor.
Did you already tell pickleball?
I did not have a pickleball, right? No, I didn't. Why didn't I think of the pickleball group? I don't know. No. That's a great idea.
Could you just give some background of what that is? I'm not familiar with it.
Oh, the affinity thing, if you bank at TD Bank, when you sign up your accounts, they ask, do you have a fundraiser or do you have an organization you like to support? And you just tell them who it is. It could be, you know, the Girl Scouts or anything, but the library is one of them. And it's kind of a mystery, but the whole calculation, like how they come up with the calculation and, you know, maybe it's 0.001% of everything that you have in the bank or something like that. They never really told us what it is, but the last couple of years, I think we've gotten a couple $1,000.
We have, and you know, and that's why we, you know, really disappointing if we don't need it. So in 2024, we received $2,741.66. This year we received $2,989.57. So missing that would, of course, be not great.
What was the deadline for that?
The bank told me today that it is January 13th. It's our deadline.
And it doesn't cost anybody anything. I mean, if you're already banking with TD Bank, all you have to do is stop by and check with them to see if you would put down an organization that you'd like to support. That's all you have to do.
The other thing too to stress is that we don't have access. We don't know anything about the accounts that do sign up. So we don't see account numbers, bank.
Oh, yeah,
balances.
so it's not saying that
We're not
Church Mo,
connected to
it
it.
had
We
like
just
$50,000. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Great, so that closes out the finance committee portion of the conversation. Does anybody have any final questions, concerns? Great, thank you very much for your time tonight. Really,
Yeah,
Thank
it must be
you.
exhausting. Okay, we have nothing new with the policies and procedures other than we need to get on some new things this winter that we'll be working on. The long range planning committee though, do you guys have anything?
We are currently still interviewing and we will be putting out a draft hopefully this month.
Okay. Did you go to the open house at the Chamber of Commerce?
Did I do
Yes.
the open house? No,
Yeah.
I interviewed with the person.
Oh, you did. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I wasn't sure we went to that. And we've been getting them. They've come back with the checks, or people brought them back with the checks. So we've got an additional. That's how many more we've got. That and QR codes too, or QR codes. So great job to the online committee. Really getting some great information back. So that's wonderful. All right, fundraising. I think we're sort of out of hiatus now. Hiatus. But we do have one thing that Amy's been working on. I don't know if everybody's seen, we have a brochure. Our library now has a brochure. And it's the calendar of things to do, and we're gonna put them at the town hall.
So
And yeah, let me let you talk about it.
when
Yes.
we were at the town hall to do the focus group with a few people there, it came up that a lot of people thought at the town hall wondering what to do, not give people print outs. What is there to do around here? And they said that they would love, they didn't really realize that we had this. She knew the flyer was up on the spinning thing, we hadn't actually looked at it to see what it was. And she said they would love to have something to actually hand to people when they come in. Of things to do, so I kind of figured it's calendar heavy, put aside a library. And she wants us to give to new residents when they go into town, when they go in to get their sticker and their flashlight light bulb stuff, so.
We're bridging that welcome way.
So I think we'll print them here and bring them down.
Yeah, really, yes, that's a good job.
Really nice thing.
We did look into either printing them here or printing them at the Glens Falls Printing, and it's still considerably cheaper if we do it ourselves, and the quality is still really good. So we just have to work out how to do the double-sided and stuff like that, which is a small issue.
Would the town help with any of the printing costs or something like that?
Well, I guess they probably figure they're giving us $85,000 already. So that's.
But nice and 200, yeah.
She did ask me to email her the flyer that we did have.
Yeah, so they probably.
She does have that, and I think she was gonna print it herself. But
Yeah.
I figured we could
That would-
bring them.
That would be good if we give them their initial copy and then just check in every once in a while, but she may put them out themselves. Great. And I got a new booklet from Imprint for certain, it's that company because I got the cups from them. So there's a bunch of items that even though we probably want to try to order from Laura, who's the local person that stopped by, at least that could give you ideas of things that she might have. So I'll try to bring those or get them to you, Joan, and if you think that's a good library item, maybe it's something that we can think about for next year.
Thanks.
So buildings and grounds, there's not too much that's changed with that because we're still waiting for the guy to install the flag. We haven't done anything with the reupholstering yet, but they are working and they were here doing measuring, I think, today for the door, right?
Last week, I think, but we met with the contractor, and yeah, he took all the information down for the bathroom door and the outer door, and he's very familiar with what it needs to be done, and we're waiting to find out if the Norwalk grant comes through, because that's where we had asked for the funds to convert the doors.
Okay, so that's all we have for the right building plan. We are still I'm gonna get in touch with everybody to find a day to come in and do all the windows. So, and then if we get our husbands to help us out, do you think Cal would help? Sure. I think we could do it in probably about an hour. So.
I had something that I wanted to bring up there. I happened to be returning from the after school program on a day that Patrice was here, and the handicap parking space is really not wide enough. And she has a really small car, so the unloading zone is not really wide enough. So I think that it needs to be addressed somehow. I don't know how, but the town, and they really didn't contact us at all when they were lining the lot. But Patrice seemed to struggle a little bit getting out of her car. And then also getting out of this, she had to back out of the place and there should be more.
Would we be able to, on the day she's coming, put the cone out to
That would be a lot easier to translate, George.
Well, either that, or at least until we can get them to fix that. Maybe we can by next summer, but I know whatever happens, it won't happen quick. So could we put some cones out on the day she's coming?
Yeah,
maybe.
But do we have any? I don't know that we have any.
Oh, I thought you used to put them in the summer in our spots.
The town gave them, let us use them, I think.
Oh.
Unless Carla has put them somewhere that I'm unaware of. And I
That might motivate them to move the lines. We ask them for their codes.
Okay, well, we'll see about that, but let's try to, when she is coming, even if it's, we put a chair out, ask her what we could do to help it make it easier for her, like how many more feet she would need.
Yeah. The problem is that right there is ledge. So I don't know that they should have measured from the ledge. And I'm not sure how they did it.
We can look up and
So
see what
it's
the
not-
ADA requirement is on a parking. We can look up and see what there'll be specific requirements that are ADA
Yeah.
required. We can check that out.
Yeah.
Give them some guidance on that, hopefully.
Okay. All right, anything with the book sale that we should know about?
You were the last one upstairs, so just cleared all
It's
books out.
looking wonderful.
And three boxes for they'll gather for next year. The Christmas box.
Oh, yes.
There's more down.
There's more books.
We saved up the
Oh,
books for
saved
the after school book. And then there's also a staff book session you can get for the tree work.
When's the tree ring?
Okay, should we talk about that now?
Yeah.
Or, if that's on our list of events, right? But we are gonna talk about that, so we'll go through, is there anything, so nothing else with book sale for now?
We made a spot for farmer's market, it came up.
Okay.
Yes, we did
Yes.
that, and we just have to remember the puzzles are way back and the way back, so we have to make sure to pull them out a couple
Just
down
have to
there.
remember where the, farmer's market stuff is. Okay, good.
We got a good location.
Sure, no problem.
Very good.
I think it just says farmer's market, we have the bins.
Sarah, do you wanna update us on the grants at all?
Yes, I've been working on final reports for the grants. You'll see from the grant report, I have submitted the LARAC final report, and that was accepted, so we're completely done with that. The Stewart's Holiday Match from this recent year has also been submitted, photos and an explanation. They don't require a final report, and they received another thank you from us on that. That one opens up on Black Friday and then ends January 31st, I think. So we're ready to go for that round. I'm halfway through with the Adirondack Foundation final report, and I still have to do the CR Wood one. So that's all moving along well. The CR Wood one's not done and due until I think January. So I'll have that done probably next week, just so we're done. The other thing I wanted to mention was that, do you want me to talk about the extra grant funds here?
Do you wanna make those recommendations so that we can vote on those?
Yes, we have leftover grant funds, believe it or not, and that was due to our cost saving measures by buying a lot of paperback birthday books. And also because the Adirondack Foundation grant, one of our presenters, due to a family emergency, couldn't attend. So we sent me, and since I get paid hourly, the fee reverted back to us, and we have permission to use it however we want. So what we have is from the Adirondack Foundation grant, $300 remaining for a literacy in the community project. From the CR Wood grant, we have $284 remaining, and that has to be some kind of books to children program. And we actually have money left from the Stewart's Holiday Match program at $346. So what we've talked about spending it on is the following. For Nancy Kimball's wildlife program coming up at the school, it's a BCS BFL program. She runs a nonprofit, a recognized nonprofit wildlife rehab. And she often asks for a donation to her rehab or wildlife rehabilitation program. So we're recommending $250 be given to her for that, for her foundation. We would purchase nature-themed books as gifts for all the kids attending Nancy's program. That would run us $429. And then we would, what we're going to do with the leftover amount from Adirondack Foundation, the remaining funds would be used to publish the Bolton Central School's third grade class. They are working right now on an original Mad Libs project. This would tie in nicely with a community joint project with literacy in the community, with encouraging children to write and read. And we will use the Glens Falls Staples to officially publish the Mad Libs. So each child will get a published copy of their book. We'll have one for their teacher, we'll have one for the school library, and we'll have another copy, published bound copy for the library here where we'll display it. So that would use up all of the funds, but also adhere to the grant requirements. So we just need to get approval on that.
The grant committee is making a recommendation that we do all of those things. So all those in favor, say aye. Those opposed? moved. It's great use of money, I think, great
Are
project.
we purchasing the nature books through, Northshire Bookstore, or are we buying them another way?
Well,
Amazon to get the price on that one. They were on sale on Amazon
Okay,
to do that. We'll have to, we can look at Northshire,
it's, I don't think the discount will be even, I don't think it'll be this.
not for this. If we had more time, we might be able to keep
Yeah.
it within those limits, but
Well, I trust that you guys will both look at them both and
Mhm.
do what's economically feasible, best for the library, so that's great.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
nothing with, personnel for now. Sunshine Committee, we have 3 people that we would like to send, thank yous to. Vicky Dodd is the one who gave the money back from her, we were paying her to do the writers workshop, she donated it back. So we want to thank her for that, and then Michelle and Becky for providing all the information. Well, Michelle for providing the information, she put it all together, and Becky for doing.
And what was the program she donated the money back? She did
the all
Writers
ages writers
the
workshop,
writers workshop.
it was $300.
Unfinished business is sassafras, yoga classes. We did have to finish up with her in terms of being able to start that program. We're kind of on hold with that. She did provide a document that shows we would be covered under her insurance, so we would like to work with her in the future. We just have not been able to get that program up and running yet. We're still working on the personnel issues. It was because she wants to do it at 9 o'clock in the morning, and that's not during our open time. So we have to figure out a way to be able to cover that. Okay, so we're down to the sexual harassment training. Everybody but James done that. Everybody's done their education for the year. Thank you, everybody. Their trustee training requirements. That's awesome. So we're done with that. The new business, the annual election and meeting is January 14th, so make sure and have that down in your calendar. That we will still be looking for a few more candidates, and I still have to get the current candidates that are done for this year, Barry, to let me know if you want to run for next year, and Amy and Tracy, we both also want to run. And we would still be looking for more candidates. So we are in the market. You know, if you have any friends out there, especially if they have any finance that they choose to fill. But if you know of anybody that you would like, you'd like to talk to, or you'd like me to talk to, that might like to be a trustee, Sarah and I are gonna talk about sending a letter out to our newsletter list, and maybe to our friends to try to get at least more candidates to run. But that's important for next year. Library museum passes.
Tara and I had been talking about it several months. At one point, we, years ago, we were seriously looking into it, and then so she had found some information on what the cost did, and it is something for the library to consider. It would become an item, a library item that can be borrowed. I'm not sure exactly how it'll work out, but a lot of other libraries are already doing it, and the prices for them are for the Wild Center, it's $90 for a co-pay pass. Provides a discounted adult admission of $10 per adult for up to 2 adults, and free for up to 4 youths, 4 youths age 5 to 17. Children provide free and do not count towards a total of free children. And then the Adirondack experience is $75 for a library membership, providing a 50% admission for 4 adults or 2 adults and all children 17. And passes are good for 12 months. or until the site closes for the season. It's definitely worth thinking about. We have been asked in the past if we have them, and we just hadn't gone any further.
I know like the Children's Museum and several other places have it too, would be a good thing to add to our collection, so. They're probably yearly passes, so something that we should think about for the beginning of the year and the health center is kind of far. Yeah, I run that.
Survey, that's one question. Passes.
Was it? Oh, well, then that's good to know.
Lake George has passed.
Lake George,
I think
the Lake
Library.
George Library, okay.
They're totally, like, they have them too, they're yeah.
Crandall does.
At the George, yeah, but it's, yeah, maybe, there's some, yeah,
Mhm.
that's true.
Yeah, that would be,
Probably not.
now that would be a really good one to have, so. Okay, so that moves us down to Megan Baker's retirement. So I had talked to her earlier today and asked her if she'd like to think about having an open house or retirement party. Had you thought about it? And,
I haven't had a chance today.
okay, all right, kind of busy. But yeah, let us know. I mean, we could do it after the holidays, before the holidays, whatever you think. So if you think about it, I'll talk to you again in a week or so. We can think about it. And I think everybody got Sarah's resignation, and we are going to go into executive session afterwards. We'll talk a bit more about that. Megan's retirement also. So that brings us down to the New York Fire and Signal call list. Is that the?
So that is the, when the fire alarm should go off, there are several people that will be called automatically from the, monitoring system. Right now, I am on the list, and you're gonna have to remove me. What the people that have been chosen in the past are the ones who live closest, but also feel comfortable, coming in and resetting fires. If it's a real fire, the fire department is called before any of us are, so it's not coming in if there is a fire. It's really coming in because we set it up.
Okay. All right. So usually at the annual meeting, I think it's a good time to talk about who the new people would be. So far, the other people wanted second and third. I'm second, Lynn's third right now. So we think about if anybody else wants to be on it, want to have a third person, you can live close. Renew Amazon Prime.
We got it was a free or a reduced price for the past year, and it does, I'm pretty sure it expires this month, so it was just that, when we got it, it was gonna be readdressed this year.
Okay, is that in the budget for this year? Okay. You know, just so we can put it in the budget.
I don't right now, but I will find it.
Okay.
I think this month. I'll have it for you, I'll get it to you.
Are there any other communications?
No, that was it.
Okay, so under events, we talked about most of these, except we need to talk about the wreath making with Kelly Rebecca. This is, I know we didn't talk about this at all last month. It was kind of a new program that they just put together. This nice lady, Ellie, offered wreath making at her house. But we did find out is that we really need insurance to cover it. So, the insurance will cost $210. The people who are going to it don't need to pay any money. But, what else do you want to tell? She told you we're gonna take up to 15 people, so I guess we have to vote for that expenditure.
So let me just add one thing.
Yes.
Done it for a number of years. Pretty nice, horrendous. It's very good. Tarps down on the carpet.
Well, we're not doing it here, we're doing it at her house.
Oh, okay. So,
Yes, right. But thank you, and that is a good reason not to have it here, you're right. But it's good. Did we think at all about where we should take?
Aaron and I talked about it earlier, and my suggestion had then was I agreed with you to use that donation from Vicky Dodd, but Aaron suggested that she would look again at our money situation and see if she could find it from someplace else.
Okay, because did we already give that? Is that Vicky Dodd money the one that we talked about used for the grant?
It's not being used for any of the grant the extra grant money. That's separate.
Oh, that's
It's an additional.
Oh, okay, so what you were talking about?
All
for the
grant money,
children's program wasn't that
right?
money? Oh, okay. I was kidding. I don't know why I thought, because they were both from writers.
It was.
Yes.
We had $600 allocated for Vicky Dodd at the rate of $150 an hour for both her and Rachel, because Vicky missed the hour for the third grade and the hour for the sixth grade, and I was the substitute. That was the $300 we got back, and that's what we just voted on to spend for those items we talked about. The night Vicky came to the all ages one here at the library, that was a 2-hour program, so she was given a check for $300 based on the terms of the grant, and that she said she wanted to turn around and donate that back to the library.
Okay. That's what got me confused.
It's very confusing. Same grant.
Same person. So anyway, we're already committed to the program. So I guess we just need to, if somebody wants to make a motion that we cover the insurance for that program, and we'll second it, vote. So, okay, all those in favor say aye. Those opposed? I mean, the people who are doing it, I'm sure, are people that are involved in the community and involved in the library and that are donors. So I'm sure that it will be well spent. We just have to, in the future, as we decide to do these programs, we just have to think of all the ins and outs of them, before we do them, so that we make sure that it's a cost-effective program for the library.
Now, these people are not going to have to pay it.
So Ellie donated everything.
Put out a basket donations.
I thought about that. What do you guys think about that?
It seems that we're using $200 of our money. So
Could we have asked for a donation to the library, or could we say, consider us during the appeal? Something to that effect. I mean, could Ellie? I don't know.
I feel uncomfortable asking Ellie to do it. But we could
No,
certainly come up
I don't
with
mean
wording.
she literally has to make an announcement, but would she let us have a flyer there, you think, or that says?
I don't see any reason why we can't ask her.
Well, I think all we need to do is make her aware that we're paying for insurance for it, so that if anybody wants to know if they can give a donation, then we would gladly accept it. How's that?
Okay.
Just letting her know, and doesn't have to pass a hat or anything, but people may ask. I mean, is there a charge for this? And if they do, just say, if you want to give this, the donation to the library because they pay for
The other
it.
thing somebody brought up at another time was that when we did programming here in the past, we used to actually pass a donation jar around, and we haven't done that in a long time. And with the turnouts that we've had, you definitely should consider that moving forward.
Or even having a little basket that just says donations gladly accepted.
That's too subtle.
That's too subtle. It's like
You really gotta put
you
it.
want it to be like church.
Church.
So that's, Linda, also, we all had container there, all farmers markets.
Yeah, and
Every
people did.
Friday.
That's
And-
true.
And I think at pickleball, wasn't there one there as
Yeah,
well?
people threw money in, so it's not a bad idea.
So we almost started a precedent there in some ways.
Right. So you'll take care of letting Ellie know about the insurance. Okay, great. Seniors, helping seniors out seating.
So that, I saw Jennifer Carlson, who is his teacher responsible for that group of senior students. I saw her the other night and, she just sent me an email and asking when would be a good date. Because she chose a date that unfortunately the seniors weren't available for. So, I sent her today a list of dates, possible dates, and it could be, Monday. My suggestion was to do it on Mondays, because that's like the one day that the senior citizen group doesn't have something that they're doing. And the other was possibly doing one on a weekend, because Sue Fowl, who is the book sale community leader, her son would like to do it, even though he doesn't need more community service hours. Said it would look great on his resume, so he would be interested in actually doing one with like a friend of his to come in on a weekend.
This would be anything technical.
Show seniors how to use their devices, how to connect their devices, all of that stuff. In fact, we could have used them today. Somebody came in, I couldn't figure it out. So I did send her those dates, and as soon as I hear from her, I'll let you know.
And the next one is the OWL. We talked about that story time, making vision boards on January 10th.
Someone approached us about it. She gets the library newsletter, and she asked if we would be interested in doing it. And we're moving ahead with that.
Great. The trunk or treat, we didn't have as many as the last couple of years, but they're still, we're about, what's it be bigger? The kids, I mean, that we gave folks out to, and again, very well received, and even a couple of the parents said, this is what we looked forward to the most. Yeah, so that was great. We talked about animal tracking, and then the next important one, we have the town Christmas tree lighting, December 7th. So we need some volunteers for that, probably 2 or 3 people. All we do is we're at the table and we give away books to any of the kids that come by. And Mary, how many Christmas books do we have? We have 2 full big boxes. Yeah, we usually give out. It always depends. We won't give out. Yeah,
It's a Sunday. It's a Sunday.
The nice thing is that it's gives them more options if you have that many books for them to pick through. But the times that Michelle said that we would be giving them out 2 to 3:30. So we probably should set up at about 1:30, and then we'd be packing up by 3:30. So it's 2 hours. So is there anybody that would like to do that? If you were able to do that? What's that? If what, Sue?
If I need it, I'll do it.
Oh, that'd be great. Okay, so we have.
I will double check.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you say two? Or?
I would check it.
Okay.
Bigger pile.
And Linda, so that's.
Oh, okay. Bigger pile.
That's
Christmas.
so we might even be able to split it, so
4.
2, you, me, Lynn, and Amy. So that's 1:30 to 3:30. It's fun.
If it's blizzard, that's a fun.
And that is not so fun. The rest were layers.
Yeah.
With layers. So very, very good. All right. Writers workshop, we talked about those. Those were fairly well attended and went really well. Sarah gave us some nice feedback from that. And are there what are we missing? Is there anything we didn't bring up today that anybody needs to talk about? Okay, then I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session to discuss employment history of persons. So what we're gonna do is take a 5-minute break and give Megan and Sarah a little chance to pack up for the evening. and then the rest of us are gonna stay for meeting. Okay, so did you need that wording again?
I can get that from you later. You can email it to me.
Okay, great.
And do we need, who made the motion? You made the motion.
I made the motion,
Okay.
so all those in favor to go into that committee meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, those opposed? Okay, great. So, we'll do the best we can to put everything, this goes in the back. The two,
Yes.
not now, we don't have to do it now, but when we're done, just, and then turn off all the lights, lock the doors, or anything else we need to do?
You're gonna lose this.